Hello, folks. Allow me one moment, please. Here we got it. Thanks for your patience. Here we are. Well, congratulations on successfully learning Hebrew, successfully navigating the Friday evening service all by yourself. That's really quite a feat. Congratulations. And we're moving forward. We're calling this Adult Hebrew Season number 2. And the goal of this session or series of sessions is to introduce you to some simple Hebrew prayers, which will then become the backbone of slightly more complex prayers, some of which are appropriate for the days of the week, and some of which are specific for Shabbat morning. And as you navigate this, you'll be gaining skills that are yours and yours alone, and no one can impede your progress. It's you and your success that is significant and something to be proud of. We're beginning with what's called the Birchot HaShachar. Birchot is that first word, Birchot. Birchot literally means blessings of, fill in the blank. HaShachar means the early morning. Birchot HaShachar means the blessings of the early morning. And these are recited traditionally upon arising on every single day of the year. I think of these blessings as attention getters to remind us of the miracles which comprise daily life. I think we'll enlarge them just a little bit. That should be large enough for people to see comfortably. Oh, one more. There we go. So, and as I said, if people are physically able, they are traditionally called upon to rise as they say these early morning blessings. Baruch atah Adonai, that's how we spell God's name. No vowels, it's a very specific term. We've talked about it a little bit. Allow me to finish this blessing. Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lasech vi vina lahav chin bein yom uvein laila. This is God's name. It is unique in the Hebrew language by many different conventions, both those which are religiously or spiritually motivated and also as a function of the religious motivation put forth by printers and publishers and writers. In many prayer documents, God's name is set apart visually in some way. In this specific prayer document, God's name is a name that has no vowels, only letters. All the other words in this Siddur and also other prayer books will indicate that God's name is very special, set apart. So when you look at this visually and you see that there's a Yud and a Hey and a Vav and a Hey, number one, you know right away it's God's name. Number two, it has no vowels, and so that's a reminder. This opening phrase, of course, is familiar to those who've been studying Hebrew because it's the precursor to all traditional Hebrew blessings. And we'll come back to this blessing in just a moment, but for now, let's do a little bit of Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam she'asani bitsalmo. She'asani bitsalmo. Before we go into this blessing, we have ben and we have bat. Ben is for a male, bat is for a female. She'asani, you, O God, have made me chorin, free. Ben is a free man, bat is a free woman. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, she'asani, and again you would say ben or bat, chorin. Here's the word she'asani again. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, she'asani Yisrael. Yisrael. And we'll finish this phrase, this little page of two more phrases, and then I'll explain a little bit about what we're saying. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim pokeach ivrim. Remember, if you have the chet with an a vowel and it's the last letter of the word, in this one case, the vowel and the letter switch, and it's not cha, it's ach, pokeach ivrim. That's the vav. It has the two dots. It does not have a dot in the center or a dot over it. Therefore, it cannot be a vowel. So it's got to be a v sound, ivrim. Last line. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam malbish arumim. Malbish arumim. And now we'll go back and review a little bit of what this means. Of course, the opening blessing of blessed are you, God, our God, sovereign of the universe, is in all traditional Hebrew brachot or blessings. This is an interesting blessing, translating literally, who has given the rooster the ability to differentiate, the ability to comprehend and differentiate between daytime and nighttime. Now, why 2,000 years ago would we be saying a blessing over God for giving a rooster the ability to say cock-a-doodle-doo? And the answer is probably that in the ancient days, a rooster was the alarm clock for the farmer. So if you didn't have a rooster on your farm, you would oversleep and you would not rise in time to take care of your animals and your family and to start your day. So you needed an alarm clock. I look at it differently because I use an alarm clock that has batteries in it. I don't have a rooster, and I'm guessing you don't have a rooster either. So I look at Natan Lasechvi, who was given the rooster, Vina, comprehension, Lavchin, to differentiate between day, Yom, Uvein, Laila, and night, as a reminder that the animals in our world have an entirely different reality than we people. We start the day with reminding ourselves of the beauty of the world by mentioning that there are animals out there and they go through their lives in a very different way than you and I do, and they operate in different manners, and they have a different frequency and a different view and a different life pattern, and they're governed by instinct, and all that comes forth by the creative process of God. So the first, you might say, official blessing I say is a reminder that people and animals share the world. I think about that every single day, and I find it invigorating. Second blessing, Sha'asani bitzamo. You, O God, have created Sha'asani, created me or made me in the divine image. And every male is considered like an Adam, and every female is considered like an Eve. Every one of us, all human beings, not just Jews, but every one of us is like an Adam or an Eve. And of course, this harkens back to the idea through the term bitsalmo of the book of Genesis, of Bereshit. So every morning we get up, and after we have dressed and taking care of our needs, and we're about to start a day, we think about animals and how we share a world with them. And we think about being in the Garden of Eden, created like an Adam or an Eve. So these opening two blessings are a doorway into the wonderment of being created anew. And then here we have Sha'asani ben or Bat Chorin. God, blessed are you, for you created me as a male or female who is free. And we live in a society, and blessedly, hopefully, fortunately, we are still free. And there are many people who are not. So now that we are awake and aware that we are living in the world as partners with animals and we are free, how will we interact with one another? What will we do? Sha'asani Israel, blessed are you, God, for you have made me an Israelite. I'm Jewish. I'm a descendant of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, and I have a special dignity and role to perform. These last two blessings, and then we'll call it a day. We'll meet up again next week. Blessed are you, God our God, sovereign of the universe. Pokech Hirim, you open the eyes. And literally this refers to, my eyes are now open and I can see, but symbolically it refers to opening the eyes of the blind. So it might mean that I'm looking around at the world and enjoying what my eyes bring into me, or it might be a prompt to take care of those people who are blind, who are visually impaired. It might be a prompt to do tzedakah in the world. And that's echoed also in the last line. Blessed are you, God, our God, sovereign of the universe, Malbish Arumim, who literally clothes the naked, dresses the naked. And it is probably the case that 2,000, 1,900, 1,800 years ago, when Jewish people had finished their bathroom needs and they were getting dressed, that they may have actually said the blessing Malbish Arumim when they were first getting dressed. But it can also be a motivator for you and me to look around and notice in the world that there are people without, and people who do not have proper garments. And even as I'm awakening, seeing how I fit in the world with animals, with a sense of being created in the image of God in the Garden of Eden, with being a free person, being a Jew with responsibilities, I'm supposed to pokeach ivrim, be attentive to those who are in need visually, and malbish aramim, be attentive to those who are in need of garments, let's say, or other material needs. These are some early morning wake-up calls. Again, I congratulate you on your interest in learning Hebrew, and we'll continue next week with part 2 of Birchot HaShachar. And perhaps you'll continue saying these blessings just as a wake up in the days ahead. Take care. Shalom.